Bulavinaka, my name is Litia and I'm from the beautiful island of Laos and I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
My name is Casey, I'm from Tabua. We love Today FM in Tabua. Today FM rocks.
My name is Selina, I'm from Tavengavengamba. I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Pula, my name is Carlo. I love listening to the music in Today FM, in Malak Island. Today FM rock.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
In the news tonight, supermarkets under spotlight for tax evasion. Security required to ensure economic growth. A minister charges opposition for ignoring achievements.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Jackie Spate.
3 major supermarkets are under investigation for tax evasion by the Fiji Revenue and Customs Services. In an exclusive interview with FBC News, Revenue and Customs Chief Executive Viswanath Das says the non-compliance by any one of the 3 supermarkets could amount an average of $50 million each. Rachel Nath with more.
Hot on heels of the shocking revelations made a few months ago where a prominent supermarket was found in arrears for millions in a case of tax evasion. The Fiji Revenue and Customs is now coming down hard on other supermarkets breaking the same law.
With one supermarket, we could do 50 million. Then, probably you can look at bigger chains and, be more precise and accurate. I think, it's not until the investigation is over you can say. But all these supermarkets are also importing things. And the undervaluation trend seems to be around 50%.
It seems some supermarkets have been using some very sophisticated ways of evading taxes.
We have also had a supermarket scenario whereby, in the supermarket, usually you go into a supermarket, you have a number of cash registers. And one of them may not be connected to the main server. And the takings from that could be ending up in the director's account.
Under current laws, the Fiji Revenue and Customs Services cannot name companies that are under investigation.
We're working with the Attorney General's office to bring legislative amendment so that we can actually do name and shame of the investigation cases. We already have gotten legislation in place for VAT payers who have not lodged their VAT returns.
Once the offence is discovered, companies found to be evading taxes are compelled to pay the backlog in taxes, after which the Fiji Revenue and Customs Services CEO makes a decision to either impose an additional administration penalty or take the company to court, whereby the court can decide to impose a fine of $25,000 or send the company directors to jail for 10 years. The no-nonsense tax man is also auditing hardware and construction companies. Rachel Nath, FBC News.
You cannot have economic growth without security, according to Defence Minister Ratuinoke Kumbombola. Responding to the President's address in Parliament, Ratuinoke endorsed the legislative agenda and elaborated on how his ministry is working towards strengthening the disciplined forces. Maggie Boyle reports.
And I hope if they continue to dislike this...
Ensuring our laws are in sync with the evolving security landscape tops the Defence Ministry's agenda.
The review of the Security Industry Act 2010 is well underway, and the Ministry has held numerous consultations with the legislative arms. The Ministry, through the Act, intends to work closely with stakeholders to improve on the processes and regularize the necessary areas to govern the security industry properly.
With an election year in 2018, Kumbombola says security will be paramount.
To build the capacity of our authorities through appropriate training and acquisition of proper and up-to-date equipment, and lastly, to strengthen our borders against human and drug traffickers, money launderers and terrorists.
There's also work to address new types of criminal activity to get ahead of it.
Locally, there are ongoing initiatives for the reviewing of the Illicit Drug Act to enhance empowerment to the Fiji Police Forensic Chemistry. The Ministry will host a 2-day workshop on narcotics towards the end of this month.
Ratuinoke concluded his speech reiterating the President's message that elections be contested on policies and not petty squabbles and political grandstanding. Maggie Boyle, FBC News.
Prime Minister Bainimarama says the country is stronger and better because of his administration. Speaking in Parliament in response to the President's address, the PM said 8 consecutive years of economic growth has lifted every Fijian.
It's given every Fijian a greater chance at realizing their full potential. And it's paved the way for a Fijian society that rewards on the basis of merit and achievement and nothing else. So the next generation can pick up the ball and take themselves and Fiji as far as their abilities will carry them.
Bainimarama says his government's success is obvious with the progress made by the country over the years.
It can be seen in the development that is underway all across Fiji. The roads, the bridges, the health centers, and the schools. It can be seen in the special effort my government makes to cater for those in need and cater for those in the remote pockets in our country. And it can be seen in the opportunities available to our children, opportunities their parents once only dreamed of having for themselves.
Meanwhile, local government minister Parveen Kumar attacked the opposition today, claiming they don't care about Fiji's achievements over the past years. He adds the country's success in universal values of peace, progress and unity carry little or no weight for most opposition MPs. Akusita Thale has more.
I'm coming to you. You will get it from me today.
Parveen Kumar took a swing at the opposition side to talk about the achievements of the government.
I must note the gutter level of politics in their calls for communalism that the members of the opposition are making in calling for a return to a divided and regressive Fiji. This will be a mistake of massive proportions. The people of Fiji spoke clearly and loudly in the last election, and they will do the same come 2018.
He stressed on the importance of the 2013 constitution, which has assisted the government.
The real issue is not with this document. The issue is with how the Fiji Affairs government is able to deliver on its promise. This is the real problem they have. And I know they are worried what they're going to say during the election.
This was supported by government MP Chilila Kumar, who brightened up the House today, raising the need to achieve their Fijian dream.
These are what all Fijians are always looking forward to have proper roads, lights and transportation to make life easier and safe, particularly people who live in rural and remote areas of Fiji.
The debate will end on Friday as both sides of the House respond to the President's address delivered in Parliament last week. Akusita Tali, FBC News.
Prime Minister and incumbent COP23 President Bainimarama has called on Fijians of all faiths to participate in a weekend of prayer. The prayer weekend is expected to be held later this month to spiritually guide the country's efforts in Bonn, Germany.
We will also be holding a weekend of prayer for our presidency through our churches, our mosques and our temples. And I hope to see as many of our people in attendance as possible. It will be our chance to come together as a nation to pray for Fiji and pray that we bring this issue the attention it deserves.
Bainimarama says in addition to divine intervention, a publication on what Fiji's presidency to COP23 will entail will be released.
Soon we will be publishing a detailed leaflet explaining our presidency, explaining the significance of COP and the entirety of this global campaign to stave off disaster for our planet. It will be published in all 3 languages, and I appeal to all of our people to read this leaflet, talk about it, and share it.
The PM leaves today for Canada for high-level climate talks, following which he will fly to New York for Climate Week at the UN General Assembly. Still to come, 3rd mistrial application in sedition case dismissed. And Bobby Maharaj changes lawyer for the 3rd time. Stay with us.
Moala rara ranalika o tikongona taon ni singatoka ando talitaka na vakaronga ng Bula FM number 2 na sere.
Ya dora subuni kurna bili. Borani batu karaham para binaranga. Do talitaki na vakaronga ng Bula FM number 2 na sere. Bula.
Bula FM number 2 en seri.
For the third time, a mistrial application filed by the defense for the 15 Ra people charged with sedition has been dismissed by the Lautoka High Court this morning. The defense and prosecution today also summed up the case of one of the longest criminal trials in Fiji. Ropate Valeme reports.
The defense lawyer for the 2nd to 15th accused persons told the court this morning that his clients were denied their right to a fair trial. This came after Judge Justice Aruna Alutge ruled against an oral mistrial application by defense lawyer Aman Ravindra Singh. He told the court that the judge should not base his ruling and decision on the prosecution arguments that the applications were a waste of the court time. He told the court that the judge should not base his ruling and decision on the prosecution arguments that the applications were a waste of the court's time. He says those applications were serious and lives of the accused persons depend on it. Justice Alutge says he stood his ground on his ruling. Prosecution lawyer Lee Burney said Singh cannot just stand and start bickering after the judge made his ruling. Singh says he would file an application for the civil court on this matter. The court heard closing submissions this morning when both prosecution and defense lawyer restated their main points of their arguments to the assessors. Burney told the court the signing of the Uluna Declaration and the alleged swearing in of the accused persons as minister of the proposed Ra Sovereign Christian state brought hatred to the government of the day. He alleged that all are guilty as charged. The defense argued that the accused persons claimed that they did nothing wrong but were following orders from the author of the so-called rival government and the Uluna Declaration, Marioni Kerwin. The judge will sum up the case on Friday. Rapate Valeme, FBC News.
A businessman has been charged along with 3 current and 2 former Ministry of Health employees for corruption-related offences. All 6 accused persons appeared in the Bar Magistrates Court this afternoon. Mohammed Fariaz is alleged to have dishonestly submitted quotations to the ministry which he knew were false with the intention of obtaining a gain of over $38,000 from the ministry. The other 5 accused, Shiri Ram, Aliti Tamani, Setefano Langilangi, Elisipe Mbula Vakarua and Mohammed Imran each face 1 count of abuse of office. All were granted bail and the matter has been adjourned to November 27th. Fiji Commerce Commission former CEO Bobby Maharaj has changed his counsel for the 3rd time. He's charged with 1 count of abuse of office by the Fiji Independent Commission Against Corruption. The magistrate was told today that Maharaj will be represented by a new lawyer, Nancy Chu. He was earlier represented by Avinesh Reddy and later his counsel was Jitendra Reddy. Chu sought more time to file agreed facts as she is waiting for documents from Maharaj's former lawyer. It is alleged that Maharaj, while working at the commission, abused his authority and directed an employee to fill in false information without conducting an inspection of a trader. The matter has been adjourned to October 30th. MP Ratanaingama Lalambalavu says the reality in Fiji is that politics will continue to be race-based, given our nation is comprised of different ethnic communities. His statement came as he was responding to the President's speech in Parliament today. Ana Ravulo has more.
The opposition MP made it clear in Parliament that the specific needs of every race in Fiji must be met.
There is always insecurity and fear amongst our communities. For the Tauke, it's about the security of their land, and for the non-Tauke, it is about the security of Tenwa. Therefore, it is important that we should all come together as leaders and find amicable solutions that allow communities to live together and work together in harmony and trusting one another.
In addition, Lalambalavu added that the government and SADELPA must work in harmony when it comes to the sugar industry.
The sugar industry will continue to be the backbone of our economy. Therefore, it is important that we should put aside our political differences and work together to find an amicable solution for the sugar industry to continue to thrive and be a major contributor to Fiji's foreign exchange.
23 government MPs are left to respond to the President's speech this week. Ana Ravulo, FBC News.
A large area of the Kumbalau forest has been removed. Majority of the trees being removed are native trees. Eleanor Tarangaivu has more.
Native trees are fast being removed from the forests belonging to the Tikina of Kumbalau in the Mbua province.
The native trees that are precious to us, the Indakua, Dakua Salu Salu and the Yaka, These trees have been totally lost to loggers because these are the best types of timber available at the sawmill. These are the #1 tree species in the forests, and when the loggers come, they aim for these trees because of their value.
Mbo Provincial Council Conservation Officer Eferemo Kumbunabunua says the demand for housing timber has also contributed to the removal of these forests.
Because of the amount of building that has taken place all over Fiji, and the demand for building materials, there have been a lot of places that have been logged. The indigenous trees have been logged to meet the demands of the customers.
The loss of forestation due to logging has been an issue over the years. However, only recently it has become more worrying.
For years, the Yavusa in this district kept our forests. Then it came to a time when some landowners decided to cut it because the money factor plays a big role in their decision.
Compared to the prices of how much you get for a pine tree, indigenous trees get more value for money.
The Tikino Kumbulau has now taken it upon themselves to know how to manage and sustain their forests through trainings and workshops, foods villages, as well as reforestation initiatives. Eleanor Turangaibiu, FBC News.
The forest sector is expected to generate a total of $161 million annually. Minister Osea Nangamu says these includes exporters, buying of timber from private communities and paying out timber royalties. Nangamu says the ministry will continue to train and empower forest wardens to help minimize illegal forest activities, which will ensure greater economic returns for forest-dependent communities.
The trees that we will be planting from this budget alone for the purpose of providing ecosystem services is a total of 750 hectares, which will generate $33 million in 50 years. The ministry has already planted 696 hectares, which will contribute to both economic and ecosystem benefits from degraded areas, which would otherwise be idle land.
Ahead in sports with Jamie, weightlifters off to first ever Asian Championship. But up next, it's Rachel with business.
Thanks, Jackie. Good evening, and coming up in business tonight, Fijian-made products to feature at Australia's Wine Festival. And in Going Fiji, separate departure lounge planned for Lambasa Airport. Stay with us.
मैं प्रेमिला वायरुकू रेकी रेकी से सुबह मेरी आँख खुलती है तो मैं मिर्ची एफएम सुनती हूँ। मिर्ची एफएम इज नंबर 1। इट्स सो हॉट।
हम लोग बार टाउन के कैरियर ड्राइवर लोगों ने हम लोग के मिर्ची एफएम सुनो अच्छा लगे। मिर्ची एफएम इज हॉट।
हाय, मैं संध्या नारियल रेफ्रिकी से मेरे सारे दोस्त मिर्ची एफएम सुनते हैं। मिर्ची एफएम इज हॉट। आई लव मिर्ची एफएम।
हमें स्पिन तो ताबुआ के मिर्ची एफएम में सबसे अच्छा गाना बजे।
मिर्ची एफएम इट्स हॉट।
Welcome back. Leading business tonight. The Fijian-made brand for the first time is being showcased at this year's annual Fine Food Show in Australia. The show is Australia's leading trade and exhibition event for the food and beverage industry. The show will feature 6 Fijian-made certified and recognized companies and exporters. These are the Coconut Company, Matuku Organic, Farm Boy, Paradise Beverages, Grace Farm and Buller Coffee. The week-long event started yesterday and will close on Thursday. The show is expected to attract over 27,000 visitors from 50 countries. And we now join Elizabeth from HFC Bank with the latest from the trading world.
Good evening. Let's look at the world markets. Risk assets performed well on Monday, while safe havens came under pressure as the weekend's worst-case scenarios for weather and geopolitics failed to happen. The S&P 500 index closed at a record high, surging over 1% after North Korea didn't launch a missile and the estimated damages related to Hurricane Irma were slashed. European shares also closed higher, rose 1% as insurance benefited from a drop in the estimated cost of Hurricane Irma. Meanwhile, Australian shares, the ASX 200, opened higher this morning, up 0.4%. China's stocks, on the other hand, were steady yesterday as investors cheered the government's plan to look into banning petrol-fueled cars, while new central bank policies apparently aimed at taming rapid gains in the yuan were also in focus. And that is all from me, Vinaka.
Thanks for the update, Elizabeth. On to today's exchange rates and foreign currencies in the Fijian dollar. The Fijian dollar strengthened against the Chinese yuan to close at 3.17, while it weakened against the American dollar to close at 48 cents. The Australian dollar rose to close at 60 cents. The New Zealand dollar and PNG kina weakened to close at 66 and 137. As for the commodities market, a mixed day with oil prices closing at 48.9 a barrel. Gold closed at 1,328 an ounce, and silver weakened to close at 17.83 an ounce. And in Growing Fiji tonight, the Lambasa Airport terminal will soon be upgraded to feature a separate departure lounge. Airports Fiji Limited Executive Chair Faith Khan says this is in line with AFL's objective of upgrading and modernizing all airports in the next 10 to 15 years. The upgrading work will start soon and is expected to be completed by March. The installation of night landing lights have already begun at Waingele Airport.
The whole idea is we will have a separate section for arrivals and a separate section for departures. So where we are standing at the moment, this is the departures. The departures area will have air condition, and at the same time it will have similar security systems for carry-on luggage that we have in Nosori and Nandi.
And that's business this evening. Now to the latest in sports. Here's Jamie.
Naka Rachel and good evening. Up ahead in sports. Betheli Nadembe leads NRC player stats. And Mary Roden off to Thailand for para table tennis competition. This and more coming up.
Bula, Keron mai singatoka, Keron do talita kana barorong na Radio Fiji 1 and do moi viti.
Ayaw na rin siya. Uti ko minasong buti ko lang do talita kana Radio Fiji 1 kina do moi viti.
Kaya ko silil tale, nagurara may naomani, nandunga. Gitu talita gini ang gitu pinasabale, nagudurong barorong na Radio Fiji 1 nando moi viti.
Na Radio Fiji 1 nando moi viti na honga ni BNN.
Fiji Airways Ndrua utility back Pedeli Nadembe has been raising eyebrows in the National Rugby Championship.
Nadembe is putting his hand up to good performance. First time for him to play at this level, and he showed us in the Skipper Cup that he had something, and he's showing it in this competition. And hopefully it leads to something bigger for him.
Former Fiji Sevens winger Choile Lutumailangi has been in top form for RC Van in the French Pro D2 competition. The Vodafone Fiji Under-20 side has been left disappointed after finishing 6th overall at the World Rugby Junior Trophy in Uruguay. The side only winning one game in the tournament. Vodafone Flying Fijian wingers Nemanja Nandolo and Joshua Tuisova will line up against each other in the French Top 14 rugby competition next week. Mary Roden is looking forward to making her first appearance in the Para Table Tennis Thailand Open competition next month. Roden, who represented the country in the Paralympic Games last year, says she's eager to go up against some of the world's best players again in this competition. Vastil Prasad reports.
It will be a real test for Fiji table tennis para champion Mary Roden when she battles it up against top players in Thailand.
It's going to be tough, that's for sure, because if people who have even been playing longer than us, they've experienced that, and they've all been saying that I should go over to Thailand because it's a very good place. They have got very good competitions and competitors, and I'm really looking forward to that.
Thailand Open will act as the qualification for the World Para Championship, which will be held next year.
A lot at stake here, and also a lot of players are using this as preparation for bigger events in the months to come.
With less number of para players available, Roden is playing against the best local players in a bid to prepare for the competition.
It's been good. We've been having training, continuous training in the evenings at 3 Brown Street. And as you can see today, we are down here competing against each other.
Apart from Thailand Open competition, Fiji Table Tennis is also preparing to host World Cadet Championship in Suva next month. Vashnil Prasad, FBC Sports.
And that's business this evening. Now to the latest in sports. Here's Jamie.
Naka Rachel and good evening. Last look at the world markets. Risk assets performed well on Monday, while safe havens came under pressure as the weekend's worst case scenarios for weather in Fiji must be met.
The Maris Men's Hockey Club is preparing to host the 23rd Eastgate Memorial Invitational Hockey Tournament set for the end of the month. Geotech Drilling International Services has once again shown its support for the event with $13,000 in sponsorship. Eroni Tuinuku reports.
16 teams are interested in participating in the three-day tournament.
We have to invite the teams coming through, and for this year we are thankful enough that we are getting teams in from as far as the Kondrove, from Levuka and Ba.
After previous unsuccessful attempts, this time Marist Hockey is aiming to win this year's competition.
So we're hoping, we're preparing for that ever since the start of the year. So we feel we've got the right team and the right people around it to really make a good effort at winning the tournament this year.
The tournament will be a build-up for local teams, offering a chance to impress national selectors.
So much good competition out there on the tournament that, as I said, anybody can win it. I think Venture is up there in the top, so but it's good this year. We've got teams from Overlau and more West teams coming over, so it'll be a good tournament at the end of the month.
The tournament is held to commemorate the late Mr. and Mrs. Eastgate for their contribution to the development of hockey in the country. The tournament runs from the 29th of this month to the 1st of October at the National Hockey Centre in Suva. Eroni Tuinuku, FBC Sports.
After a good outing at the recent Commonwealth and Oceania Championships, Weightlifting Fiji is looking forward to a similar result during the Asian Indoor Championships. Fiji won 8 gold medals at the event in Australia last week and wants to continue with the fine form in Turkmenistan. Right there with the story.
Manuel Itulo just returned from Australia, proving to be one of the best in Oceania, and he has no time to rest.
We've just finished a championship just last week, so we'll just take it on from there, from the preparation that we've done for the Commonwealth Championship into Turkmenistan.
Itulo knows the battle for top spot in Asia will be a tough ask.
Never diminish. This is a very tough competition because the championships are very close. And this is the first time for Fiji to go into represent at the Asian Indoor Championship. So looking forward to it. It's going to be an exciting one.
Apollonia Vaivai also won gold in the Commonwealth division and is looking forward to adding more medals to her career.
Not easy because everyone will be like all my competitors are looking forward for this coming up Commonwealth. But at the moment, it feels good to be there. It gives that drive for me to do more than what I'm doing now.
The Asian Indoor Games begins this Sunday in Turkmenistan. Rohit Dev, FBC Sports.
In today's play of the day, ugly scenes took center stage in the Turkish Super League match between Istanbul Basaksehir and Fenerbahce as fans pelted a goalkeeper with a bottle in the middle of the match. That's it from sports. Join Angie later on with weather and in new media. Apple to unveil new iPhone tomorrow. Details after the break.
Whenever I want to tune in to listen to great music, I always tune in to my favorite radio station, Gold FM, only the classic.
My name is Lita. We love listening to Gold FM here at the Fiji Hideaway Resort and Spa. Gold FM, only the classic hits.
We here at Tano Waterfront Lautoka love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.
In new media tonight, it's been only 10 years since Apple's late co-founder Steve Jobs presented the first iPhone. Since then, the competition with other companies has evolved into a giant battle of smartphones, each trying to outsmart and outperform the others. So expectations for the iPhone 8 are high. And Angie joins us now with the latest in weather.
Hello there and welcome to the Weather World. Pretty much a day to stay indoors and enjoy some coffee. You might be wondering why. Well, the weather was so gloomy and quite dull. Let's take a sneak peek in the west. It was very cloudy with few light showers. Eastwards from Pek Harbour to Suva, a very hazy day with very little rain. And up in Vanuatu, a nice day with also very little rain. At sea, east to southeast winds 15 to 20 knots with moderate to rough seas. And for the tides, high tide tonight will be at 11:45 with a low tide tomorrow morning at 6:03. See the beauty of sunrise at 6:04. For tomorrow, patches of light rain will be around, probably just like what we had today. Tomorrow's temps, the burning west, the name says it all. It will be much hotter with highs of 30 degrees. And looking further on to Thursday, we're expecting this occasional rain to take some rest. Don't you think it's about time rain deserves a time off? And that's our FBC weather for tonight. Jackie.
Thanks so much for that, Angie. On Fiji on Pulse today, we asked, what do you think should be done to curb the parking problem in towns and cities?
The authorities should look into unnecessary parking, and they should do something about it due to a lot of vehicles in the country.
I think there should be more parking spots created to curb the issue.
The council should allocate some more parking space.
They should allocate more parking areas because so many vehicles in Fiji, in Suvarnasari corridor, so less space for parking.
In the world of the weird and the wonderful, imagine if your clothes became an extension of your skin, able to respond to the environment around you. An architect and interaction designer at the University of Southern California has created a 3D printed garment called the Caress of the Gaze, which detects when you are being stared at and moves in response. Recapping the main stories, supermarkets under spotlight for tax evasion, security required to ensure economic growth, and Fiji under-20 fail at World Rugby Challenge. For these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. To our poll question this week, we are asking, is Sitiveni Rambuka a better party leader than Rote Mumukepa? Visit our FBC website to answer. Before we go, our shot of the day was sent by Sake Mbula. Another beautiful sunset was captured on Sonaisali Island. Send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page FBC News. You can also follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC_news or simply hashtag FBC News. That was your FBC News for tonight. From the team and I, stay safe. Good night.
I'm Anare Sorbakroa of Nayabu Wenibuga Telebu. Whenever I want to tune in to listen to great music, I always tune in to my favorite radio station, Gold FM, only the classic.
My name is Lita. We love listening to Gold FM here at the Fiji Heidegger Resort and Spa. Gold FM, only the classic hits.
We here at Tano Waterfront Lautoka love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.